Hey, it's Aquarius season. You know what that means. This will be happening 6 p.m. No, about the exact time is about 5:55 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That the Pluto will enter officially 0 degrees Aquarius. Let's prepare ourselves for upheavals, retirements, explosions of intelligence, of knowledge, of truth, of people finally breaking down the dam that has been blocking our creativity, blocking our prosperity, blocking the truth from coming out. So, of course, let's pull a card and see what kind of energies. Ooh, first thing, Emperor. This changing of authority. This breaking down of all the institutions we thought we know. King of Pentacles, our institutions, our value systems, our home. So we have Uranus and Taurus as well, and Uranus and Taurus is Uranus is technically is squaring the Aquarius energy right now, right? And so, but Uranus rules is a modern ruler of Aquarius. So yeah, using that Uranian transformation of our land and like our understanding of like what's really important and why is it important for people. It's like this is really taking on Eight of Swords. Let's slow down a sec and really think about like what we've been holding ourselves back from, because this society has us imprisoned in our own minds and our own individuals. Society has tricked us into believing in this individualism as this like greatest philosophy ever created. But watching Immortal Technique this morning and making me understand more about the psychology, about the shame that's in white patriarchal society, and the guilt that's there. And whoop, because like something's connected there. It's like knowing that, and then knowing that like this is an age of revolution now that we're entering into, and there's a lot of anger in our spirits. I literally went to a longhouse the other day, and I was feeling the wood, and I was just like becoming more. It was brought to how aware I was just brought into this awareness of like how recent it was that all these tragedies happened to people. Like it was like an endless onslaught for 500 years about in America against the native population, and the anathema, just from the last 10,000 years. Um, that's a lot to consider and think about, um, because now we want to live, have peace, but like there's no apology, to put lightly. There's not like a clear way. I think there's some clear ways, but I think the problem is the resistance to the obvious answers of like um the obvious complicated answers of like how do we honor this land and give people back what they deserve, what was stolen from them. um I this. So I'm gonna do a lot of visual speaking, right? Visual describing. So this Aquarius season is entering like a tidal wave to the Hoover Dam. It is like a coordinated revolutionary assault on the systems that be. It is a bursting of a spring in a concrete city. It's the rose that grows through the sidewalk and cracks open the sidewalk as it comes up. But with the velocity of like the magic beanstalk. Like with the force of a magic beanstalk coming through the earth. The force of like explosions, volcano. That is Aquarius energy. That is happening. Or will be, this is what we'll be experiencing. So today, as Pluto ticks closer to that 0 point of Aquarius, and it's so exciting to think about. It's exciting to think about because I'm experiencing a lot of things right now in my life already, and I understand like certain things. But this Pluto Aquarius is very. It's exciting, like waiting for this solar flare that fired off this morning to hit the planet and see what's gonna happen when it actually hits the planet. Because that's basically about as much of a warning we're gonna get, or it's basically about as much of the answer that we're gonna be getting as it's already on the way. It's not gonna be obstructed. Obstacles will fall down in front of it. The combined force of Pluto Cazimi In Aquarius is like it bursts through. I think the things that we've been like sort of standing on and dealing with for a while. Oh, so many wands just came out. 4 of wands. 8 of wands. Page of wands. Ooh, yes. Passionate activities. 4, 8. Like together we move forward, right? Together we build and we craft the way forward. Together is the answer. Together for peace. Together for stability. Like, let's think new. Let's reform ideas. Let's rethink of ideas. Let's, like, push forward. Like, don't, like, the 8 of Swords was just out. So, like, I'm making a connection here of like just fuck it, right? I think a lot of people are in this mode of like just fuck it, and you're gonna figure it out some kind of way because we just have to push through with the system that we're still in and figuring out how to readapt it to a modern sentiment, a modern thinking, critical thinking of like we deserve better. Absolutely, all of us deserve better than what we're getting now. Except for the fucking corrupt narcissists that control the planet or think they control the planet, control the forces of finances and power, and think that gives them control over the people or the planet, and it doesn't. It's a illusion of control because people have been tricked into thinking they don't have power for themselves because of fear mongering. Like, it doesn't matter how like this they must fear monger they do. They don't control you really, and like they're really more. They have to use more fear to try to keep you down, so that way they can be more comfortable. Even though they're living in way more fear than we are, like they really are, which is why they double down on things. It's it's like it's a cause and effect. It's a back and forth. It's an imbalance of power. So a redistribution of power is in order, a spreading of the power. So that means don't get in your big heads over the next couple years. Oh yeah, the moon. Don't get in your head too much. Don't think the power that is being redistributed is should be wielded the same way it's been wielded. Definitely don't do that. When this power is when these structures are broken down and these systems are able to start flowing freely and we can start moving into different positions, do not bring the old ideology forward. Like, don't bring this forward. This is collapsing for a reason, right? It's collapsing for a reason. It's struck for a reason, and we have a better sense of understanding our inner darkness and seeing how the darkness is played out in the world to know pretty much what not to do. And I don't care if people talk about this. People love to bring in irrelevant stuff to a conversation that diverts it from like the goal of the conversation. Like when people say, like the word that came to mind is "ain't nothing new under the sun," and it's like that don't mean you keep doing the bad shit, right? That just means you're aware of how bad it is and you refuse to make a change. You're not atoning for the damage caused, or you're not making an effort to make repairs to our society, to our culture, after like the last 250 years of since the last Pluto Aquarius, you know, and it went in a direct, and then things transformed into, you know, deep set oppression of things and like that. Yeah, we are aware of our higher self. We are aware of this shadow, this darkness in the world already. And we can change this. We can make moves to make things different, make things better. Just don't go trying to go back into the ruins of that old castle, of this old castle, okay? I heard something kind of painful last night too that hit me as I was meditating on these like indigenous values, right? And like the fallen systems and what they say. It was like kind of like accepting that it's gone. The acceptance of the change, of the depth of things, doesn't mean it's not alive in spirit still. Like our trees that are still more than 100 years old, more than 1,000 years old, um, that exist in deep rainforests, they are um, in that same quality of like gone but not forgotten. In our spirit, our history, we recognize our ancestors are gone but not forgotten. Our kingdoms and tribes, great tribes, great families are not forgotten in our spirit. We may not mentally, intellectually remember them, right? But spiritually, emotionally, like you would miss a grandmother. You know, even if you never didn't know her that well, you would still miss your grandmother. You still want to know what she was like, what she did to bring your family here. Um, but like this change in this attitude is like, how do we do it better, right? Or that's the best way we can do it. And restore lost legacy and respect it. And then loving each other today. You know, people who are full of hate, let them be. Just send them love and hope that they stop killing themselves, right? Um, so I'm, of course, I'm optimistic because it's my season in a way, and I understand on a deeper level about things. So I think that it'd be good for people to kind of think about it that way. I mean, these are just prompts for meditation, basically, right? For thinking about things, for a frame to view the world in a way, or a lens to put on, however you want to, take it for yourself. You know, I'm giving you something. You can use it or not. Um, but these things, they are not gone. They are in our hearts, in our souls, in our spirit. And Aquarius season, this transition to the age of Aquarius, this age of Aquarius, it's like bringing water to a desert, and everything comes to life again. Um, and even though there's it's kind of a catastrophe for the desert environment, right? But there's a greater benefit that more life comes to the desert. Um, and the creatures that live in the desert can either adapt or move on. Um, it doesn't necessarily spell immediate death for them, it's just evolution. You know, there really is no death, it's only evolution, right? Um, so carry that forward, um, this cycle, this transit. I mean, Pluto will be going retrograde into Capricorn for a couple months later this year. But, like, because, like, the process of growing is, sometimes things have to be, we'll reassess where we are at the time and see what needs to be, what else is still stuck under there. I think like, this dance of Pluto and Aquarius for the last couple years has been like it went into Aquarius briefly last year and came back out. Now it's back in Aquarius today, and it will be be retrograding out 1 degree and then come back in 2025 to stay for the next 20 years. That's something else. So I think I have a lot of deep feelings about this because to me it's the same energy of like preparing for a funeral. That's what strongly came to me. Like a celebratory funeral, like a happy ending, a happy ending. Um, because like, and when we see people pass, you know, Bobby Hemmett said it best. It's like when someone dies, celebrate. They got off this motherfucker. Like when Of course, it's not good to hear that someone you love has passed on, but you should also be happy that they have passed on. They made it to their side. Particularly, I mean, of course, like murder and stuff like that is not right. It's an unnatural way to die. But like when people are able to make it to old age and pass peacefully or pass with no regrets, or just able to transition peacefully, you know, I'm glad they made it and they're making it to their side. And I hope that the adventure continues on, right? We all do. That is how I view it. If that was a religion, I'd make it the religion, right? Of we. That's just the way we're supposed to be. That's just my philosophy of being. Is like we do the best we can on this planet for each other now. Leave leave the space for the next generation to grow, um, to take up the land and be able to keep going, moving forward, and just leave the traditions, good traditions in place for them to build on. Um, it seems like a logical, sensible way to view, to hold our culture up, to preserve humanity. And unfortunately, because of religion and government and corporations, this basic soul mission has been totally uprooted and corrupted, um, and leaves people not as evolved as they could be. It's literally like we're seeing in society today, where the nepotism and not affirmative action particularly, but um, like internal affirmative action, right? Like people promoting for each other, discriminations, um, has led to, like, recently there's been a lot of fraud coming out of academic journals, and a lot of this fraud happens because of discrimination in the first place. So this is happening like micro macro levels things, right? So if on a micro level on this planet we have societies that do not promote the truly intelligent and truly kind and truly altruistic, um, the good things, right? The beneficial things for the population, and instead they put their intentions on profit, first of all, nepotism for people who are going to continue the profit capitalism game, and then now we see fraud, um, statistics that don't add up, stats that people use as facts, but it's all made up. And I think this is gonna fuck with people on a serious level. Um, Seeing like medical science fall out, you're gonna see uh, physics fall out. Um, the government, of course, is already falling out, but we're about to see a whole bunch of shit just be like, that doesn't make sense. Why'd you tell us this was true? That doesn't make sense. Why do we believe this? That doesn't even make sense. How'd y'all even come up with that? We're gonna be hearing this a lot. These are questions we're gonna be asking a lot, and I try to stop myself from asking those questions now, because I just know that it's all just evil. It's all corruption. It's profit, power, and that's it. Just profit and power. It's feeding the greed and of these entities. Um, and then we have internal demons to deal with as well, that were created, that we allow to live in our lives because of the society we live in, that forced us, that and basically enforced us to create demons, or to live with demons, or work with them, or just allow them to be in power. And of course, when I say demons, I mean corrupt humans. So, um, this is what we're going to be like. Another thing we'll be facing and like unpeeling, unveiling, um, pulling back the curtain on like patriarchy, totally. Because Aquarius is actually a masculine sign, right? But it's kind of like androgynously masculine because the power is a masculine, well, not really, but implementation and execution of power is kind of a masculine toned um, energy work, right? And the feminine part of it is the harmony, the creativity, the the nurturing. Um, so um, this like merging and of these like of this feminine and masculine into this um, just a human focused agenda on like healing the world and restoring um, just peace and harmony um, and independence. I think we should take it as hard as we can. I think I came out wrong. I mean, like, it's a push. Like, we have, like, the power is in our hands. And, but we have to be responsible with it. Like I said earlier, it's not about just one person. Like, a group of people who are all aligned can come together and, like, elect a person to represent them as a whole. But the way that the electoral system is done nowadays, it's an election year. Oh my God. Like the way the electoral system done, like we know this is bullshit. Cause people understand that their votes don't matter on the federal level, right? Or like certain things that people vote for, it can be like undone the next week with like a secret parliament meeting, Congress meeting, whatever. Executive orders and shit like that. Vetoes. People just downright just not enforcing it. There's that too. There's probably things on the books that do help people that like just to cover their consciousness that are just ignored, not being, so maybe it's like some deeper reading of things will be happening too of like, hey, like that's like we should not be doing that. We should be doing this. It's written down here. You know, just I am I'm looking forward to like hearing and reading about justice actually becoming just and fair and honest. Um, we're just gonna see a lot of weird shit though. That's just gonna happen. Like, and we should look at history again, of course, and not fall into the same pitfalls of ideology and cult-like activity, um, and war and violence, um, to solve our problems. Because like violence is begets violence until someone decides to go with the final solution, right? And then just still begets more violence in the future, more ultimate war crimes and final solutions to come until there's nothing to solve because everyone's gone. But this time around, I think that we have this web, literal web of connection, and it will. I think it will really, really. Let me burn my hands because of my. Um, yeah, I just wanted to share that message with you guys. Um, enjoy this Aquarius season. Um, Meditate, eat well, hydrate, exercise. It's a new year, or the real New Year's approaching, right? The equinox is coming in March, and by that time, we'll have a much more clear understanding of where things are headed, and what we want to do in that regard. Um, yeah, like the video, subscribe to my channel, follow me on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook if you're into that. Oh, most big, I should say that big in front loud. AquariusUnited.org has a store. So you can go on there and buy some of my tea. You can book me for astrology services, tarot service. Um, if you're local to um, Olympia, Washington, I travel. Um, I'm a facilitator of sorts and a shaman, most importantly. So if you need spiritual work, if you need some spiritual help, I'm here, or I could refer you to someone better. Regardless, thank you so much, and see you next time, I guess. See you around.